to go.
You are good to go.
Okay, I'd like to call the May 5th, 2020 bid board meeting to order. We have a quorum. Before we move on, I would just like to, and it's a little difficult in this situation because we don't have a picture or face or anything, but Tony Cable is joining the bid and he's replacing Wayne Kynes, so he'll be finishing out his term. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And thanks for calling in. With that, we'd like an approval of the minutes from March 3rd meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
And a motion and a second. Any discussion?
That was Brian as a motion.
Justice did the motion, I think, and Brian, did you second it?
I didn't. I think it was Larry.
No. Okay.
I'll second it.
There we go.
All right. Larry seconded. All right. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. First item on the agenda is the financial report.
Oh, that's me. All right. You'll find it in your agenda packets. You have your total revenue, actual 107,312.61, but under your revised budget you have 106,83. Actual to date 9,042.34 cents. Total encumbrances right now are 16,800 with 80,240 available.
Adam?
Yep.
This is Larry. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Would it be possible to go through this line by line, because the proposal will carry us over the $17,000 that we have allocated with 2,200 already spent, and I'd just like to see if we do need to get some money, where would we get it from? And I'd also like just to review some of the things on here.
Okay. Then let's go ahead with, so independent audit expense is kind of a static cost there. Administrative miscellaneous costs are regular there. So your marketing in downtown, that's your, what you have is the actual 2,202. Lights and decorations went down from last year. Electricity cost is always pretty standard. So funds for future projects and your contingency account are the two that always stay open, and don't, are you guys not fully designating something to a project in the beginning? So if there were going to be extra dollars, those would be your two areas where you could grab that from.
What, we've got transfer other funds. Is that for the Riverwalk?
Yes, in the past that was your Riverwalk West donation.
Is that an ongoing expense?
No, it's not ongoing. It was just renamed so that it wouldn't be pulled immediately into the Riverwalk account. Because last year you guys used Riverwalk funds for the decoration. So then we had to, you guys did a $125,000 donation to the west side of the Riverwalk. So normally we would have taken the $35,000 out of the designated amount you guys put in the beginning of the year with an additional $90,000. But because that $35,000 got put in immediately from finance after they saw that it was designated for the west side, we had to come up with $35,000 from elsewhere to make up that cost for the decoration. It was, so this way it keeps us a little more flexible.
Okay, but that is pretty much how about that bridge surety? Is that part of the old bridge destruction?
That's done.
New bridge.
That would have been, that's part of the old bridge destruction, yes. That was paid over 5 years.
So does this put an end to that, or is it obligated?
I think we have 1 year after this.
Okay. All right. That helps.
Adam, you can verify that, but I'm pretty sure this is our 4th year.
Yep, you're right. We talked about that during the meeting. This is the last year for that.
And then what's the 220240 that we've already spent?
Yep, kind of figured you were going to get to that question, so I'm now pulling up the full breakdown. That'll be it. We just go grab the paper copy. I can grab a picture that way. All right, so if we're really going to go down line by line, then independent audit or Baker Tilly.
All I'm wondering is, I don't remember spending 220240 on anything from a marketing perspective.
Sure. Pull that up. Oh, transfer to tip 9 is the surety. Yep. Landscaping. All right, so there we go. You guys spent money on the Discover Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Part of the payment for that. You have a $200 annual membership to the Washington County Convention and Visitors Bureau as well.
Really? When did we do that?
Last year.
I don't ever remember
It was
discussing that.
It was a lower than the threshold payment, so I signed us up so that we would get some marketing costs going towards being advertised in their stuff. We're in the Washington County annual visitors guide as a destination.
Okay.
And then the telecom, the music downtown.
Okay. All right. So we need a motion to approve. I'm actually kind of doing this backwards, but we have a motion to approve and a second I need.
All motion approved.
Second. Is that Herb?
Herb.
Okay. And the second by?
Kathy, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second item on the agenda is the downtown parking. It's been requested that we take this tabling that we did and push it out kind of indefinitely until things settle down, and then the chief can continue to work on what we had all talked about at that meeting. So we just need a motion and a second to do that at this point.
I'll make a motion to postpone the parking ordinance issue until further notice.
Second.
Who seconded that?
Brian.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the proposal for the marketing communication plan for the bid district. Since Jess and Adam brought this forward, I'll turn the meeting over to them and let them present.
Okay.
Hopefully you all received the proposal in your email the other day. If I'm going to try to pull it up on my screen here so that those of you on the computer can see it. So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So I brought this idea forward, and I think it's fantastic. We've been really looking at ways that we as a communications team can support local businesses, and one way, in my opinion, is through an integrated marketing communications plan. And I think that this particular plan is exciting because it's so fluid, just as our day-to-day lives seem to be right now, and kind of not knowing what next week might bring in terms of what is able to be offered. And so we've put forth a plan that will sort of adjust as our economy adjusts. So first, I just want to preface this by saying some of the photos in here we did just borrow for the sake of examples, but we would be getting all new content, of course, with video production and photography throughout the process. So the marketing communications plan is basically a promotion for downtown West Bend, getting people to be more aware of the offerings and to really drive them to consume businesses and to purchase, go to restaurants, depending on what they can do. So taking sort of a phased approach, we've started by, sort of having this very short term, hopefully downtown at your door segment, which would, skew female, but really be targeted toward the residents of West Bend, to really get them aware that downtown is open and here's sort of how it looks and how you as a consumer can support businesses, get all you need downtown and more, and have it really come to your doorstep. And it's not just curbside delivery, which it is, but it's also online ordering and downtown at Charm at your doorstep. I mean, how great to be able to order your favorite things from your shops downtown and send them anywhere. So it's really just kind of bringing that awareness, heightening it to those living here who can only really travel right now within a shorter period, length. So, we're thinking that this particular campaign, which would feature a short video, would just attract those who are about 10 miles or so from West Bend. Then as things began to open and, I based this plan sort of with the Badger Bounce Back plan so that everything sort of jives. But as that plan begins to take effect and more people are able to gather or go into a restaurant or go into a store, then our messaging quickly changes and broadens to a little bit farther, away consumers. So maybe within 30 miles, people are feeling a little more comfortable going out and trying to get out of the house and feel safe about it. Then that's where we kind of kick in the campaign on it's time to hit your heart, where you're like, I'm really missing spending time with my family or socializing with friends. And so this video kind of tugs on that and attracts people to do all of those things downtown. So some of the messages we've talked a little bit about is like treating yourself. You've really earned it because you've been good and cooped up and being really safe, and now you can get out in little bits, and you should do that downtown, and just bring those visuals right to them because maybe they're not aware, or we want to just really heighten their awareness of all the different things that they can do. And then as the phases continue, and all this is really fluid and timeline, then the third phase takes effect, which is more of the, like, if the pandemic wasn't happening at all, this would probably be the phase, because it's really promoting all things that happen downtown, larger gatherings, larger celebrations, events. And it's like, all right, since this is a time that's a little more challenging, people are just like so hungry to be out and be back to normal in some way. So as we get to this third phase, we just want to show them this like striking downtown image. It's charming. There's boutiques, there's arts and culture, there's places to do business, and just really give them a taste of what is in downtown and drive them there. And so then this third phase would target consumers who are quite a bit farther, 50 to 75 miles. So then we're starting to hit more of like Metro Milwaukee and Fond du Lac and beyond to drive them here. And hopefully this campaign lasts the longest, but it's possible that phase 2 will be longer. So, we're highly aware of all the different executive orders that are coming out and what's happening when, and taking that into consideration. So we would do the same with this particular marketing campaign and watching. So just so you know a little bit more about what we're proposing, is that each phase would include a 30-second to maybe a 60-second video. It'll probably skew more toward the 30, just because that's a really good time amount to promote on social media or digital streaming services. And we feel that we can get a pretty solid message together in 30 seconds. So we are proposing community television create one 30-second to 1 minute 4K video for each phase, and then we would be boosting it and promoting it on all of these various digital platforms. In addition to the videos, we would be also acquiring photography at that time, so that we can be coupling it with like a visual photography campaign, because a lot of people are really reactive to strong imagery, strong photos, as well as videos. We would take an approach. We would be pretty aggressive with public relations. I've already talked to a few different magazines and newspapers about pitching ideas on that help promote downtown, where we wouldn't have to be paying for them to cover it. So we'd be pitching them ideas on a taste of downtown, and it would mention like restaurants and great things to discover there, or businesses breaking barriers, like businesses doing really creative things or offering special virtual services, just bringing that awareness up here. So we would be working on, writing articles, getting them out there, getting them published to really help the cause. Social media would be a huge part of this campaign. I mean, for what we're presenting, and we'll get to the budget later, we feel that boosting content and actually doing social media ads on these various platforms can be really cost efficient, and can also provide us with a lot of data, so we can really see how well it's performing. So we would use social media influencers. So there are various people in the community that we would encourage and actually solicit their assistance in promoting the content that we have out there and helping share it with their networks. We would do organic and paid content. So basically we would be boosting and doing the ads, paid ads through Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And then organic basically is the posts that the city of West Bend would be doing that supports the campaign. And, whether it's images or messages or links to the articles that have been published. we've also talked about, lead generation. So within our Facebook page, we're able to add a tab where people could enter their information and say, I'd like to learn more about different boutique shops downtown. So it's a way for others to just give us what they, we can get them what they want. So if they want everything in the world, they want to learn about different businesses, they want to learn about restaurants, things to do, great, we can acquire that data and then we can distribute it to those in the bid. And that is the plan with that. And by having people opt in to put their information in a survey like that themselves, we can have a disclaimer and say that we will be sharing this with businesses downtown. If there's any virtual events, we can be airing those. So digital advertising, we talked about social media, but we would also utilize Google Ads. It's a really sophisticated setup where we can be retargeting people, which means if they go to a website that is, part of the Google network, they can begin seeing our ads. Or if they go to the city of West Bend, we basically put a little pixel, it's called, in our website, and then it starts serving all the ads and videos to them. As the phases progress, I'd like to utilize Travel Wisconsin. They have a really wonderful co-op program where they can send email communications out to huge lists across the Midwest and state that are sort of on their behalf, but we can completely customize them. They're also really pretty inexpensive. I wouldn't do that until later in the campaign, just because we won't be targeting as far away with the travel restrictions. I definitely think it's worth utilizing, and then potentially using the Washington County Insider, especially in that first phase where it's a little more local, is to just try to reach as many people within 10 or 15 miles to come to West Bend, downtown West Bend. Print media would be minimal. As much as I love print media and feel that there still is a place for it, it's highly expensive. So we've veered away from using it for this particular campaign in order to get as much immediate response that we can track as possible. There may be an ad or two in a local publication or in something that makes sense later down the road, but it would be very minimal. So the promotional timeline is next, and this is an example. We do plan to have this be a 6-month plan, starting immediately if you choose to move forward. And we've said that phase 1 may likely be about a month, at least given today, which this morning, who knows, maybe this afternoon is different, but right now we're looking at May 26th for things to continue as it is today. So we would get started with that downtown at your door phase. As the restrictions open and more services are available, we'd move into phase 2, and we would anticipate that it could be 3 months, could be 4 months, could be 2 months. So this is just a sample of what we would think today it may look like, but we will be fluid and flexible and adjust as needed, which is kind of the interesting part about this. So again, with this campaign being highly digital, we're able to do a lot more measuring in terms of results. So we will track social media engagement and reach, and we will also do some surveying of downtown businesses to see if they're getting any response, how their sales have been, and just to gather that data to best understand the impact of the campaign. And then we'll provide also the leads generated from the inquiry form, and we'll know how many we had, and we'll work to distribute those. So I guess one last thing before we get to budget, and you've seen some of it, but the visuals below are, I feel that they're really powerful. They really speak to me in terms of a consumer, and just like I want those experiences right now. I feel that there are so many people who are missing going for a stroll downtown and seeing the lights, or hitting a show and having dinner. And So I think as we get to that point, we can be showing people what they can do, and they're going to be hungry for those experiences. And we want them to have those experiences in downtown West Bend, period. So that's our goal. And, I'm happy to answer any questions. Our campaign budget is inclusive of all of the production, the videos, and the hard advertising costs, the reporting and tracking. And, I would kind of figure like what's available and what may have the greatest impact. And this is where we've landed. And I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Yes, I have.
Yes, Peggy. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let's, this is a little more difficult when we're when we're on this. So why don't we, I'll just go down the list. Herb, since you started, we'll start with you, and then I'll go down the list of everybody so that we don't step on each other. Go ahead, Herb.
Yes, I have a question. If we see this is not working, this is a campaign that looks like it's going to reach into August or September. I forget what the date was.
Mm-hmm.
But if we see halfway through we're not getting any benefits out of it, can we discontinue?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't, because this campaign is designed for 6 months. I mean, if we're not seeing results, which I wouldn't anticipate, then we could adjust maybe our placements or something like that. But I really feel strongly that we're building this to be a 6-month plan. And what I mean.
Do we have to pay the $17,000 all at one time?
Sorry?
Do we pay the $17,000 to start, or do we pay that monthly?
Well, I guess it would be, it doesn't matter how it comes in, but it would be 17 either way, because we would be filming all the videos as quickly as possible and trying to make placements
Personally, I could see a better way of doing it would be a coupon type deal monthly. All the businesses have some kind of a special coupon for coming downtown rather than,
and I think they could still do that. So this campaign is meant to promote all of downtown, all businesses and the experience of being there and all of the opportunities. But I think in tangent, the downtown businesses themselves could be promoting their own, and many of them are, coupons, deals, offerings, and that will just build upon it.
Peggy,
real quick too. You can make the payment of the $17,000 as everything ends at the end of October.
Yeah, but there would be a commitment up front. Peggy, I think I heard you jump in there.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Jess, are you the one that's going to be kind of doing the whole thing, or is Adam, or both of you?
We'll be working together, and John Elke and Community Television will be producing the videos. All three of us are a team, and we would do this campaign together.
Okay, I just didn't know who was actually running it, if we were outsourcing it, or if this is something that was going to be done by the city.
I would be placing all of the advertising costs and overseeing the placements and the tracking and everything. We wouldn't be working with any other vendors.
Okay. And there's a lot of, I think of all the salons and stuff right now that can't be open, and all of the, there's one when you go in and there's a massage girl and a nail girl, and there's a whole bunch of little ones in there. So everybody in the downtown will have an opportunity to be seen.
Well,
That's a question.
It's kind of tricky because, to go into every single business, some of them are not offering services like in phase one. So I think it's more of giving them people a flavor of what they will find downtown. So this isn't like necessarily promoting any one single business. It's more promoting the different categories of options that exist so that they can then come and explore those types of services.
Okay. Personally, I'm really excited about it. I mean, I think it looks great. I think that it's not, I mean, you're going to kind of do it over the whole bid, right? Not just specifically the downtown?
Yes, the bid.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I agree. I think that we've all been shut down here for a long time. And I mean, you know, I have absolutely no business. So making anybody aware of the downtown will make me very happy. So kudos to you. I'm all in.
So I heard a couple other voices, but I just want to jump in here really quick and I challenged Adam about 3 weeks ago, not knowing that they kind of had some of this already put together. And no offense to Brian and Tony on this call, but I was real honestly getting fed up with hearing, you know, support a restaurant. And I said to Adam, I said, you know, it's great we're supporting our restaurants now, but my fear is when we come out of this, people are going to know the restaurants, but they're not going to know the small little businesses within the bid. And we need to come up with some type of a plan. In my thoughts originally, this got way bigger than what I thought it was, or what I was thinking. I mean, my original thought process was just to do like a little, kind of what you're talking about, Peggy, is a flash through downtown of here's all the kinds of businesses downtown, and we run down Main Street and say, you know, here's the Candyman, and here's Shooting Star Travel, and here's Savoring Time, and here's all these different you know, locations. And I was thinking a budget of like $10,000. I was not thinking we spend, you know, a maximum $10,000. The thing that I personally don't want to see happen with bid money is, I think, Herb, you got a good idea with coupons and that kind of stuff, but I think that this should never, and I don't think the bid should ever get themselves in a position that we're individually marketing business types or businesses. I think that's the responsibility of every single business downtown. They need to market themselves. We could potentially market the bid district, and just here's what we have to offer down here, and here's what we do. But there's a lot of businesses that don't benefit from this either. So we have to, in my opinion, we have to be very careful on how we spend money and how we promote and what we promote. And if we do an umbrella promotion, then I feel better about it than if we are focusing on a particular segment of business. So that's my take on it. And that's where I originally came from with this. Just as a FYI, I'm being chased by Channel 6 because I brought this up to a reporter who was walking down Main Street one day. And so now they're trying to get a hold of me to do a story on what my feeling is of how COVID is affecting small business from a bid perspective and that. So I am very concerned about the small businesses downtown and in the community all around, not just in the bid, but right now I'm concerned about the bid and making sure that when we come out of this, these businesses are still there, because we really have a great base going on down there right now, and we got to just keep building upon that. I saw we lost one already, which is Lee's Alteration. She closed. So I hope that's not a trend. I just hope that she decided it was time to retire. So with that, anybody else want to speak?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'll say thank you very much, Jess. This looks absolutely great, May. I hear what you're saying, Mike, about focusing too much on one segment, and I would hope that Jessica and the whole crew down there would be able to sort of see, look at the bid from a 5,000 foot view when it comes to trying to raise the tide for everyone. And Herb, you mentioned the coupons. I think that's a great idea. I will say there are a number of bids that employ, sort of a full-time marketing director, and to do exactly what Jess has sort of prepared. So I definitely think this is within the wheelhouse of the bid, and some of the things that some of those bids do down in Milwaukee are like spotlight features, business of the week, interviews where they do, in person, in the storefronts. And so I think there's definitely other ways to sort of incorporate all different businesses that are down there. I love that you're looking sort of 30, 60, 90 days down the road. I love that you're incorporating sort of some of the things that even Kathy had talked about with regards to geofencing or geo-tracking, and trying to look very geographically, but utilize the digital sort of information that's out there. So, yeah, I think it looks great. And the budget is, we've seen so many marketing proposals come before us. So I think we should all understand and recognize at this point that marketing is expensive. And the goal of this proposal, in my opinion, and maybe if I'm wrong, let me know, Jess, but it seems very directed to keep downtown West Bend top of mind. And that is the goal of, I think, every business, is to not get lost in all the noise and everything. And so it's important that, somebody's out there beating that drum for downtown as a whole. So yeah, looks great.
Kathy, I know you've been trying to jump in.
Yep. I'm kind of on board with you with this, Mike, in that I think a lot of the focus in what I've seen has been done organically and done very well in supporting the restaurants downtown, and I think that's great. I do have concerns about the budget. I'm wondering if that budget would actually cover the scope of everything that's been discussed in this. It seems to be pretty big, in my opinion, as far as the scope of all of this. And I'm wondering about the price and whether the $17,000 would cover this scope. I'm also wondering if the bid is the only entity in this that will be providing funding for this effort. Is any of this coming from the Downtown Association? I'm wondering about, are we losing focus on what the bid is actually about? I'm questioning that. And maybe it's time to revisit what our mission and bylaws are and how we fit with the Downtown Association. I'm just throwing that out there because I'm kind of lost in all of that. Mike, you talked about these dollars that would benefit some of the businesses, not all of the businesses. I think that's something that we have to be careful with. I do like it to be more of a generic message. But again, I'm questioning the dollars, and Mike, you mentioned keeping it consistent in marketing dollars in past years, and I like that. My opinion. I think that's all I needed to add to this. I am questioning the funds that would go to this, and it's all coming from the bid district.
So with that, before you answer that question, the one question that I have with the budget is, of that 17,000, how much of that is physically going towards advertising, and how much is physically going towards production and administration?
Sure. $12,000 would be the hard costs of the advertising, and $5,000 would be the administration, the campaign implementation, and the production of the videos, which would then be your videos to use today and beyond. So production of 3 30-second videos with drone footage and 4K videos.
And with that, is there a way in this plan, let's say I wanted to jump on board with this, is there a way for a business to say, hey, I want to have a video made about my business so that I can tie into this?
Well, I would say that would probably be separate, only because we wanted to take that 5,000-foot look at this campaign and promoting the entire bid district. So if an individual business wanted to, solicit the help of community television and our communications team to put something together, I would be happy to discuss it. But I wouldn't work it necessarily into this exact campaign, because then it may skew toward one business or the other, and we really want to try to promote the entire bid.
Hey, Peggy, I heard you jumping in there. Go ahead.
I did, thank you. Kathy, just very quickly, I don't think that you could expect money from the Downtown Association. You have to remember that literally the only funding they get, is from Music on Main and Farmers Market. And with the way the world is right now with social distancing and everything like that, I have no idea what that's going to look like. So years ago, when it was formed differently between the bid and the downtown, that is something they would have taken care of, but it's no longer that. That's why this bid board was really became active several years back. But the funding from the Downtown Association would not be fair. They literally are party planners at this point, so I wouldn't ask for money from that. But I do think that it's important that we do something to promote the downtown or the bid as a whole. I do see it as part of the bid duty. Marketing is in the bylaws. It is something that needs to be done. And I think that this is a very classy way of doing it. We've spent money on things before that we weren't sure of, and sometimes you just got to take a leap of faith and see what happens. That's it.
Well, and I think I'm going to jump in and just follow up with that, Peggy. And it sounds like Jess has already built in sort of a component to help track and sort of in the future show us what that return on investment is going to be. So, yeah, it sounds like she hit that one.
I chip in again on my coupon deal, or giving away something free. People like free stuff, or they like coupons. And I believe if you take $17,000 and you're going to spend it, I think you get more people downtown giving stuff away than you will, especially after this, some people being laid off and having a little harder times. I think the $17,000 could be spent in promoting something of a coupon or a giveaway or something, and I think that'll bring more people down to our businesses. Taverns could give away, and restaurants, a $20 meal, a glass printed with their name on it or something, or a shot glass. We could give away a flice water. We could give away a pint of paint with a gallon. Yeah, there's all kinds of gimmicks that could work. You just got to find them. And I think you'd promote the downtown more that way than you just showing what's downtown and that. People know, I think, in West Bend, what's downtown. What are you gonna give me to get me there?
I don't disagree with what you're saying, Herb. I believe that that's a totally separate program. And I think that could be done. I mean, I know you and my father and Donnie Sager and other people in the past used to run different promotions, through the newspaper and stuff to get people to come downtown. And that was all driven by the businesses, and the businesses individually were buying into that program. And I think that's something that maybe we can, as businesses should be looking at. Unfortunately,
Well,
in the era that you're, just hold on one second, please. In the era that you're talking about, we had a really strong newspaper in town. We had a strong radio station in town, and they went around and sold the program and made it happen. Unfortunately, we don't have that today. So if we want to do something like that, which I would, I don't think is a bad deal, would be to figure out some way that we come up with that kind of a campaign and do that in addition to this, and each individual business could pay for that themselves.
Well, Mike, what I'm saying though is, you get some of these restaurants and taverns and small businesses that have been closed altogether. Why don't we take that 17,000 and divide that up in some way to some of these businesses so they can give stuff away? They probably can't afford to do it because they don't have the money, because they've been out of business for a month and a lot of income. Maybe we should help these businesses in that way.
Well, it's a thought.
I can jump in here on that one too. If we're talking about $17,000 going towards the businesses directly, we have approximately 200 businesses downtown. That's $85 per business to put on a promotion.
I look at that and I see that as you're allocating those funds then directly to a select few businesses, like you said, Adam. Did you just say 200 some businesses downtown? A coupon promotion would directly benefit a select few, in my opinion. And I just have a hard time allocating funds that 200 some businesses are paying into, and it benefits a select few. Mm-hmm. I think that that kind of a promotion needs to come directly from those businesses.
Yeah, I agree.
I totally agree with what you're saying on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And how's a law firm gonna benefit from an $85 stimulus check?
Yeah, I agree with that too, Mike, if I can jump in real quick. Most of my thoughts and concerns have been addressed already, but just a couple of things. I've done a lot of advertising on Facebook for my business, and I'm well aware, and I think it's true with other social media mediums, that they track all of that really well. And you're going to get really good hard data out of this. And I think 17,000, I know you guys have spent a little bit less than that in a year's time in years past, but this is a very unusual year. I think this is really going to be necessary, getting people, you're reaching into people's homes, into their pockets with their phones and their computers, and dragging them out and getting them downtown. I think it's a great promotion. Good job, Jess.
Thanks, Justice.
Okay, any other comments? Tony, I know you're the new guy on the block, so sometimes it's a little difficult to want to jump in there. Do you have any thoughts or anything that you want to talk about? Is Tony still here? He's not on the call anymore. He dropped off.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I'd just like to say I think the promotion's a terrific idea. I think we need to bring people downtown. I think that you make it attractive. It sounds like it's well thought out. You can track the results of it. I'm 100% for it.
Okay, so I think I've heard from everybody. Adam, you'll have to find out what happened to Tony because he's not on the list anymore. So, if there's no further comments or questions, I'd entertain a motion for approval or disapproval and a second.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
So we have a motion from Justice and a second. I think the first one that came in was Brian. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 No,
Opposed?
no.
No,
Whoa. Hold on. All in favor? Let's do a roll call.
You might want to do a roll call, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's do a roll call. So, we'll go down the list here.
Mike, I can grab that from you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye, opposed, no. Mike,
Aye.
Peggy,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Kathy,
no,
Herb,
No,
Larry,
Aye.
Justice.
Aye.
Okay, so ayes have it, 5-2.
Okay. Then I guess the question I have with this is because the city is doing this, I don't know. Adam, you're going to have to check with Ian just to make sure that we stay within our legal boundaries of do we need to have a contract with community cable and that to do this program. Because according to my understanding of the state statute is anytime we contract with anybody to do something, there needs to be a contract that's with deliverables in it. So if you could check and make sure that we do or we do not need that since it's the city that's doing it. And we are really technically an extension of the city.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's professional services, so I'll write up an email so everybody knows.
Okay. Then the next item on the agenda is any future agenda items, and hopefully we're not going to be meeting like this in June, but I have a feeling we will be. So is there anything that anybody, as of right now, if not, we can get stuff to Adam and move forward with it from there? Okay, not hearing anything, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Motion
Thank
to
you.
adjourn.
I have a motion, I need a second.
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 All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.